Muslim by choice. How ignorant can you possibly be? Every time you try to attack Ravi Zacharias, you give us another chance to attack your prophet, and we're really good at it. While evangelicals are busy glorifying a sexual predator, Ravi Zacharias' abused victim speaks out. This title, which assumes Ravi was guilty, is referring to a lawsuit which was filed by Ravi against a Canadian couple a few years ago. The federal lawsuit, which was filed by Zacharias, not the couple, alleged that his friendly correspondence with the wife evolved over the course of 2016 to her sending him unwanted, offensive, sexually explicit language and photographs. In April 2017, the couple sent a letter through their attorney demanding millions of dollars in exchange for keeping the messages a secret. Zacharias, who has been married for 45 years, turned down the woman's offer to treat his back pain and her request to accompany him on a mission trip to India. According to his August 2017 lawsuit, she eventually began expressing her love for Zacharias and then began making sexually suggestive statements. She sent him photos of her family, then of herself in very scanty clothing, and finally of herself nude. "Let me state categorically that I never met this woman alone, publicly or privately," said Zacharias. "The question is not whether I solicited or sent any illicit photos or messages to another woman. I did not, and there is no evidence to the contrary, but rather whether I should have been a willing participant in any extended communication with a woman not my wife. The answer, I can unequivocally say, is no, and I fully accept responsibility," he said. "In all my correspondence with thousands of people in 45 years of ministry, I have never been confronted with a situation such as this, and God and my family and close friends know how grieved I have been." Ravi's lawyers claimed that this couple had worked together to manipulate him into a compromising situation, at which point they could demand some money. Something similar seems to have happened with this couple several years prior. Zacharias' lawyers noted that the couple previously sued an Ontario pastor and his Christian Reformed church, alleging he had coerced them into making certain ill-advised loans and investments and seeking $1 million in damages. Their 2008 lawsuit was dropped. There's no evidence that Ravi did anything wrong except for falling into the trap of letting his guard down. These sorts of traps are waiting for Christians everywhere, especially Christians in high-profile leadership positions. Now, with respect to claims about Ravi's fraudulent credentials, those are addressed in the article in the pinned comment. As much as I would love to talk about Dr. Zakir Naik and other Muslim frauds, I want to talk about the biggest fraud of them all. The prophet of choice for Muslim by choice is, of course, Muhammad. And if you want to talk about glorifying a sexual predator, let's do it. Look at this 9-year-old girl. She's about to take the Shahada. She's so young she struggles even to say the name Muhammad.
And I bear witness. That Muhammad.
What?
Muhammad.
Muhammad.
Peace be upon him.
How old would you say the man is? I would say 50-something. Now, how would you feel if a man that age jumped on top of a girl that age? Wouldn't that be repulsive? Nope, not if you're Muhammad. What started as a dream slowly became a reality. Muhammad told Aisha, "You have been shown to me twice in my dreams. A man was carrying you in a silken cloth." She must have been very small in that dream. "He said to me, 'This is your wife.' I uncovered it, and behold, it was you. I said to myself, if this dream is from Allah, He will cause it to come true." So Muhammad consummated the marriage when Aisha was 9, married her when she was 6, and dreamed about her before that. It was then that Muhammad began to make his move. Aisha used to play with dolls. Sometimes her friends would be with her. And when Muhammad would come in, they would go out. And when he would go out, they would come in. Whatever Muhammad did alone with this girl, he wanted more. She was taken to his house from a swing set, dolls in hand, indicating she was prepubescent, at the age of 9 to consummate the marriage. Did Muhammad's sexual intercourse with Aisha at the age of 9 satisfy his lust for young girls? Apparently not. Sometime before his death, he saw a baby crawling before him and said, "If she grows up and I am still alive, I will marry her." The Prophet of Islam also encouraged other men to be child molesters, just like him. Jabir said, Muhammad said, "Why didn't you marry a young girl so that you might play with her and she with you?" Of course, Muhammad didn't just have sex with young girls, he had sex with his slaves as well. This angered some of his 9 or 11 wives who apparently couldn't fulfill his sexual desires. Fortunately, Allah was on Muhammad's side and sent down a revelation, allowing him to continue to have sex with the slave woman. Now, have Muslims condemned or glorified this sexual predator? They glorified him. His spit was so precious that Muhammad's followers would rub it on their faces and skin. His sweat was so precious that it was collected and used for perfume. Some even licked up his blood and drank his miraculous urine, which could prevent stomach aches for anyone willing to take a swig. By the way, what does Muhammad have in common with a camel? Okay, yes, Muhammad would snort like a camel when he was receiving his revelations, but let me be more specific. What does the urine of Muhammad and a camel have in common? That's right, camel urine, just like Muhammad's urine, has a healing effect. Drink some and it helps you feel better. Do you ever feel yourself getting dumber when you hear or read these Muslim sources? Now, if people would lick Muhammad's blood, and if they would drink his urine out of a jar that he would pee into throughout the night, what do you think they would do with his feces? Thankfully, we will never know. When Muhammad wanted to defecate, the earth split open and swallowed up his feces and urine, and it gave off a fragrant smell. Today, Muhammad is known as the Holy Prophet. Muslims on Hajj venerate his grave in the same way they venerate the Kaaba. Muslims pray to Muhammad, and Muslim men, following Muhammad's example, still prey on little girls in the guise of Islamic marriage. On and on it goes. Islam is all about venerating Muhammad and following the example of the world's most glorified sexual predator.